Hello, Black women. I am a special needs mom, and this week I went to my OBGYN's office and was hella triggered. Okay. And I need to talk about it. Hey, everyone. It is Rushni of glamazini.com, bringing you light and laughter par usual. I am a content creator. Okay. I say this every week. I am a healing journey coach for Black and West Indian women. And I am a Black woman healing. I am also a special needs mom. And this week, it is all about special needs momness. Okay. Ain't no coaching. I don't even know. I guess this is content creation. Okay. But it's all about healing out loud. Me, currently triggered, which is why I put on the thumbnail that I am triggered. Now, I was triggered, not 10 steps on what to do when you are triggered. Your girl is currently triggered right now. Amen. And I don't know if y'all saw how early I put that video up. I put the video reminder up like on Tuesday because your girl been triggered. Okay. So we're going to talk about it. Hello, Rain. Thank you. Also, thanks to everyone who was waiting for me to jump on. I don't know what was I know I feel like nothing was coming together because I was like, I didn't think this thing through. Girl, are you really about to jump on the internet and talk about this topic? And everything that was going wrong was going wrong. Okay. So your girl was a few minutes late, but we got it all together. I hope. I hope. I'm here, right, you guys? Also, hi, feeling pretty blue. Thank you so much for the hug. Hi, Grace. You're a special needs mom too. So listen, we're going to talk about it. Okay, you know what? Oh, let me move my thing. There, you can see my pineapple. I wanted to put on the screen trigger warning. You know what? Maybe I could do it this way. Let me just drop. Whoop. I'm moving some stuff around. Let me do this and create a banner that says trigger warning, right? And what would it be? Challenging pregnancy, and I'll say / special needs mom. I was going to do that beforehand, but as you guys heard, your girl is out here just trying. Who said to come out on the internet and talk about? Who said it? Anyway, that's huge, but I'm going to put it there for a second. I'm going to put it there for a second. I don't know who told me to come. Who told me? Oh, Rain says that you are also a special needs mom. Okay, so I see that I sent out the APB on us, and y'all, it's about to be a conversation. I'm gonna need y'all to help me though, because ain't no coaching happening right now. Okay, ain't no tips, ain't no how-tos, ain't no what I did when I was triggered, because your girl is currently in the triggered state. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hydrate. I'm gonna talk to y'all about what happened earlier this week. And then we are going to talk through and we're going to help each other heal. Because, like I always say, I'm a Black woman healing. I'm not a Black woman healed. And clearly, as evidenced by this Monday, there is this particular part of my life journey. There's a lot that needs to be worked on because I am still very highly activated. Okay. Also, before we continue, if you are new here, if you are true here, hit the like button on whatever platform you are on. It really helps the algorithm, especially for Black special needs moms. I find that sometimes it's hard for us to find each other. Yes, there are Facebook groups. Yes, there are spaces, but still often, especially in certain diagnoses of our children, we are underrepresented. My son's specific diagnosis of spina bifida, we are underrepresented. So hit the like button. It is more likely that the algorithm on whatever platform you are on, but especially on YouTube, will bump it up into the feeds of Black special needs moms that need to hear this. Okay. Also, follow me if you're watching on Facebook, and absolutely subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. And if you are not a special needs mom, this is going to help you too, hopefully, because I hope that by me healing out loud and by me being honest about what is really going on when somebody is dealing with a very extreme trauma and trigger is going to be something that helps you on your own journey. Amen. Amen. I already have a couple people who have said that they are special needs mom. If you are a special needs mom, Black or not, If you are a or if you know a special needs mom, or if you work with special needs kids, if you have any, if you're operating at all in the world of disabilities, different abilities, uh, special needs parenting, special needs education, special needs care, special needs any of it, if you're an OBGYN, this one's for you. Before we go on, my toxic trait, you guys, is drinking a cup of coffee when I'm hot, being hot and sweaty, and then still continuing to finish my cup of coffee. Also, I've been out in the sun walking, and I don't know if y'all could see. Look at my melanin. The problem is though, the headband that I'm wearing is making this tan line. So that's a color that y'all are used to me seeing. This is Missouri Rushni, and this is Virgin Islands Rushni. I needed to put some more makeup up here to cover this up, but we're here now. Okay, that's not what we're here now. If you are a special needs mom, let me know in the comment section and let's talk about it. Okay. Atia says I'm bronze. Do you see? Listen, let's take a moment. You see it. This is the color y'all are used to. I need to do something about that because I need the sweatbands. By the way, those sweatbands from GymWrap from Nicole Ari Parker, amazing. Amazing. Okay. Made for Black women, by Black women, amazing. But y'all see the Virgin Islands color coming out. Okay, let me talk about this special needs mom. I'm stalling you guys. Oh my God. Okay, so here's where we're going to start. We are going to start by me telling you guys what happened. That's it. And hopefully I don't bust out, y'all. I got a box of tissue here just in case, because who told me to come out here? So let's start at the beginning. Hi, my name is Rushni. I have a 12-year-old son named Zion who was born with spina bifida, myelomeningocele, and a Chiari-2 malformation. Spina bifida myelomeningocele is the most severe presentation of spina bifida. Spina bifida is the most common birth defect, and it is very uncommon, or Black women are underrepresented in that particular birth defect. So yay me, okay? Wait, yay me to be a unicorn. I was pregnant with my son at age 35 and gave birth to him a month after my birthday. Let's see, a month after my 36th birthday, right? So the majority of my pregnancy, I got pregnant at 35, carried him mostly in age 35, and gave birth to him right after my birthday. Atia, listen. So Atia basically been here since I was doing pregnancy vlogs and before, okay? He is 12. His voice is deep. I almost forgot I was on the internet. His voice is deep. He is going into 7th grade. So we just trucking through middle school. So yeah, anyway, that's yeah. And I'm not okay. Okay, but I'm trying to not get off track on that because I want to talk about what happened on Monday. I could bust out crying just about the fact that my son is 12 with a deep voice. Cause what? Anyway. So, as you heard me say, he is a 12-year-old going into middle school. He is a wheelchair user. He does not walk. He also has a lot of severe medical needs. Yes. Good. At my 20-week ultrasound, so let's go back. Let's go back to 2011 and then 2012. So my friend got married in October of 2011 in Mexico. And my husband and I went to Mexico and we had a great time. Okay, we used all the facilities. Our room had a private pool. And let me just say this. One of the running jokes in my friend group is what happened in Mexico stayed in Mexico. And then somebody says, except Zion. Because by Halloween of 2011, so a few weeks later, My cycle was doing what it was doing. I just happened to have to go for an OBGYN well woman exam on Halloween 2011. You follow me? So October 31st of 2011, I go in for a well woman exam. They ask me how everything's going. Do I think anything's going on? And I say to them, well, I forgot what it was. There were a few little weird things happening in my body. We're not going to go into all that, but there were just like weird indicators happening that weren't usual. And I was like, and my period is like a couple, 3 days late. And because my period is very, you could set clock to it. They did a pregnancy test and they came back and they were like, girl, your hormones are through the roof, whatever the hormone is. And she was like, maybe it's twins. And I was like, what? I bind it. Anyway, so on October 31st of 2011, I found out I was pregnant for the first time. First ever try. Never been pregnant before. I feel my throat closing up talking about this, you guys, which is why I was like, I'm triggered. But expression is the opposite of depression. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm not just doing it to put my business in the streets. I'm doing it so that another woman who needs to hear this and to see this type of processing can be helped. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. And to help myself. So anyway, October 31st, I remember driving home and watching the kids trick-or-treating from that OBGYN appointment and thinking, oh, thank you, H&D abroad. HCG, exactly. It was H something. And she was like, oh, girl, it's through the roof. You are prega. She was like, that line jumped off. It was like, ah. And then she was like, maybe it's twins. And I was like, girl, what? So anyway, I drive home watching the little crotch goblins out there trick-or-treating. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm going to have one of those, right? Halloween. So now fast forward to the 20-week ultrasound, which was scheduled for February 14th. You see the theme? So Halloween was when I found out I was pregnant. Valentine's Day was when I was supposed to be going to the 20-week ultrasound. I had a friend who was pregnant right before me. And so she told me what to expect. She was like, you're going to go in, they're going to do a bunch of stuff with the ultrasound, and then they're going to tell you whether it's a boy or a girl. Like they're going to tell you a few things, they're going to tell you whether it's a boy or a girl. So I go to this appointment thinking I'm going to find out whether it's a boy or a girl. That's it. Crotch goblins. Okay. Also crotch fruit. I like to call them crotch fruit because biologically it's science. Okay. Anyway. So I take my butt to the 20-week ultrasound. And if you have been following me on YouTube, you saw me doing pregnancy vlogs every single week from like week, I don't know when I started because dissociation and trauma, but let's just say week 7. So you guys were here along for the journey all the way up from October or November, whenever I started talking about it, and all the way to February. Okay. So I go in February, you guys, 14th, 2012. And all I'm thinking is I'm going to find out if it's a boy or a girl. I'm just thinking to myself, like, how am I going to tell my mom whether it's a boy or a girl? Nobody was doing gender reveals back then. That's to show how quickly things changed. Gender reveals was not a thing. So I wasn't even considering any gender reveal concepts. I was just thinking, how am I going to tell my mom whether it's a boy or a girl? That's all I was thinking. How am I going to tell my mom and dad? Like, how am I going to tell them, right? My husband was with me. And I remember at the time he was in school. So we go into the ultrasound, which is in the same building as my OBGYN's office that I found out about my pregnancy. This is why we're going somewhere with this story so you can understand the ridiculous trigger that happened to me on Monday, right? Same building, different floor. So on this floor, I found out that I was pregnant. Oh, and I forgot to say, when I left that first you're pregnant appointment, October 31st of 2011, when I was in the elevator, because I was by myself, I turned to this old white lady and I said, oh my God, I just found out I was pregnant. And she went, oh my God, congratulations. And I was like, you're the first person I'm telling, right? Remember that. Okay. So now we're back in February 14th, 2012. I go in with my husband for the 20-week ultrasound, thinking all I'm going to find out is whether it's a girl or a boy. Fun fact, I wanted a boy. Don't ask me why. None of your business. I just did. Okay. That's what I wanted. Okay. And God gave me the boy I wanted. Okay. So I go in there. Whew, okay. Oh, it's already starting. Help Jesus. By the way, that is nervous system activation from recalling a traumatic event. So if you ever have that like feeling like you could feel the blood inside your blood vessels, that tingling, and my throat is closing, there are a lot of other things that could be happening when a person is triggered, but that's what's happening for me right now. If you don't know what that is, your nervous system, which is connected to your brain is connected, the brain is connected to the focus, Rush, you're supposed to be serious. There's nerves going down into your body, connected to all the things. Your brain is remembering a traumatic event, and a lot of chemical and energetic things are happening. And that's what's happening to you. Okay. I don't know why I felt like stopping and explaining that to somebody, but I didn't know what was happening to me back in the day when I'd be triggered. So I just thought I was losing my mind. I remember when, I remember when I lost my mind. Listen. So anyway, this is going to be a slow progression, but I hope that by the end of this helps somebody. We're in the ultrasound. They doing the ultrasound. Jelly on the belly. They going. She looking. Ultrasound tech was chopping it up with us like it was nothing the whole time. Chopping it up like it was nothing. Chippity chop, 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 chip. She making small talk. You to you to you. All of a sudden, she get quiet. Do you hear me? The silence that started to happen inside that ultrasound room. And she ultrasounding. So I thought, okay. Now here's the thing. A lot of this is blacked out because dissociation and trauma, but I'm going to do my best to tell you guys this. She called in she said she got to call in the doctor. Now, me and my innocent self does not realize that once they have to call in a doctor like that, something going on. I did not know. Okay. I know now because I've lived 13 years in this world of special needs momdom. But back then I had no idea. I was just like, oh, okay, she's about to call in the doctor, right? My husband had actually left because at whatever point she did what she did, he had to leave to go to class. So I think she had already told, yeah, she had. She had already told us that it was a boy, right? And we were like, oh my God, And so we got the information we thought we were getting because innocence, ignorance, first pregnancy, first time trying, first time everything, okay? And didn't know any better. Never had this experience before. Nobody had ever expressed to me what the experience was like besides my sister-in-law telling me they were going to tell me the gender. They'll do a bunch of measurements and tell me the gender. That's all she told me, right? Because she has healthy kids. Anyway, so I'm going to get through this video. Listen, this is going to help somebody, Jesus. Because I felt it clear in my shanana that I was supposed to do this video. So I'm going to do it. So my husband leaves and I'm in the ultrasound room by myself. Doctor comes in and he is not a nice man. His bedside manner is basura. And he said some crazy stuff to me that in hindsight, I wish I had taken this fat part of my arm, my hand right here, and chopped him in his stupid little throat. But I wasn't there back then. Okay. I was pregnant and I was confused. And I was like, why is this taking so long? What's going on? Meanwhile, the ultrasound tech is over in the corner and she quiet as a field mouse now. Okay. She was blathering on with me the whole time. Blathering on, talking to me about all this stuff at the beginning, got real quiet during my ultrasound and then zipped it, standing in the corner, just staring at us like this. Doctor comes in, he does another ultrasound. So I'm an ultrasound 2, jelly on the belly, scroll, right? He's pushing and prodding on me like he's doing an exam on a horse or something. The ultrasound tech was much more gentle, much more humane, much more kind, right? He was pushing stuff around on my stomach, I guess, to see what he was trying to see without any consciousness of whether or not I was comfortable or not. Then he announces he need me to do a vaginal ultrasound. So at this point now, I'm like, what's going on, right? Ain't nobody telling me nothing. Ain't nobody told me nothing. Ain't tell me nothing. Help Jesus. Okay. Whew. Oh, Awkward Black Nomad said, Throat closing / inhibiting throat chakra equal your body is trying to protect you by stopping you from telling the story. Girl, I'm gonna tell it. Oh, I'm gonna get through this video. Oh, let me tell you one thing about me. One thing about this 2024 new bronzed, except for this stupid tan line that's messing up my. I gotta fix that. This new 2024 bronzed, almost 50 version of Rushni. I don't do silenced anymore. Okay, I don't do silenced anymore. 1% more Rushni every single day. Shoot, wait till y'all hear the stories. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. Okay. Y'all gonna be like, what? Who is it? Zora Neale Hurston that said that if they go, what is it? If you're quiet about your pain, they'll kill you and say that you enjoyed it. Thank you, the awkward black nomad. But I'm gonna tell it. Okay, oh, it's coming out of my mouth. It's gonna come out and it's gonna be on the internet for my reference and for the reference of any other black woman healing and any other special needs mom healing. So here we go. Okay. So I go in the room now and I do what I got to do to get ready for the vaginal ultrasound. Because at this point, he only doing jelly on the belly. So now he get this gigantic wand and he lube it up and he shove it up in me like he doing an exam at a veterinary office. And he poking and stuff. At this point, I'm by myself. My husband has left. I told him to leave. He didn't leave without me. I said, it's fine, go ahead. I thought we were done, but we were not done. So all of the traumatic things that were happening, I happened by myself, which is whatever. So after the third ultrasound now, 2 of which were me being manhandled, this doctor, sorry, I just had an image of his face come into my mind and I wanted to punch him in the face, okay? I wanted to punch him in the face. This doctor sits in front of me and basically tells me all this stuff with the most uncaring, unempathetic, unloving, anything, unconcerned. It's it's Tuesday for him. It's the end of the world for me. He's like, your child's going to have all these genetic problems, all this. He's, girl, I don't even know. He's going to have spina bifida, Chiari-2, a bunch of trisomy somethings, a cleft palate, underdeveloped this, underdeveloped that, won't be able to walk, won't be able to talk, won't have any cognition, a partridge in a pear tree. You got to get rid of him, terminate this pregnancy. And then he topped it off with, brace yourself, y'all. Brace yourself, because this rough, okay? You ready for that? This is verbatim. You're going to be 36 when you deliver, so what did you expect? Let's hydrate on that. Ooh, I was about to cuss. Wait. Wait. Okay, wait. So, help us, Jesus. Help us, Jesus. So, yes, I'm about to cuss. The fuck he did. I'm like, girl, I can't even pretend like I don't cuss. Yes, he absolutely said that to me. So, right? And then he left. The ultrasound tech, who had been standing in the corner the whole time, just looking forlorn at this point, horrified and forlorn, scurries over to me, scribbles a bunch of stuff on a piece of paper, and hands it to me. She was like, just in case you weren't able to retain what he said. Okay. Which I wasn't, because when he said that to me, you guys, and that's why my body is, I'm here right now. Like, all of the activation is happening, which is why I haven't even gotten to what happened on Monday, but I'm telling you guys a story so you could see why Monday happened. This past Monday, this past Monday, like it's Friday today, this past Monday happened. Okay. When that man said that to me and they were like, something's wrong, they told me all the stuff about my son. And they basically were like, don't carry this child to terminate the pregnancy. It was like, you know how in the movies things start, everything goes slow motion? Literally that. I can't even explain it to you guys. It was like the room started going in slow motion and he was talking to me and I dissociated out of my being. And what I saw, I could still see it. It's the weirdest thing. What I saw while this man was saying what he was saying and pivoting to leave the room was like this. I'm just going to say what I saw. The room went darker and it was like this swirling happening in like I could see it. And he was moving in slow motion. So he said a few things after the you're going to be 36 when you deliver. So what do you expect? But I heard none of it. All I saw was a short little white man in front of me with a flat face talking like the teacher in the Charlie Brown cartoons. It was like that. Listen, I'm just telling y'all what happened. And sometimes this is what happens when trauma happens to you. Now, back then, I didn't know that's what was going on to me. I just remember everything went slow motion. And then he left the room. Ultrasound tech comes over, says something to me. All I heard was, in case you didn't hear everything he said, she hands me the piece of paper, and that's it. I am left in this room. And let me say something to y'all. I do not remember leaving the room. I do not remember walking through the office. I do not remember getting on the elevators. I do not remember going multiple floors down on the elevators. No memory of it at all. Gone. The whole thing gone. I don't remember walking out of the front of the building where my OBGYN office is. Now, that experience was not my OBGYN. It was another doctor in a facility a few floors up, right? But my OBGYN's office is in that building, which is where we're going. Okay. I do not remember leaving the front of the building, walking along the front of the building, or going halfway down the staircase to where my car was parked. Entirely gone. You hear me? When I tell you, y'all, trauma is so funny. I could have levitated out that building. I wouldn't have known. They could have took me out there on a stretcher and dumped me on the sidewalk. I wouldn't have been able to tell you. I could have, I don't know what happened. I'm assuming I walked. Okay. When I came to again, I was halfway down the staircase to the parking lot to my car, and I was on the phone to my husband, basically saying, don't go to class. Something's wrong with the baby. Come back. Don't go to class. Something's wrong with the baby. And then I collapsed by the car in the parking lot. Listen, I don't know if I ever told y'all all of this. So I'm 20 weeks pregnant, collapsed by my car in the parking lot of the facility upstairs that had done my ultrasound and where I was treated like some kind of stock horse. And the same building that my OBGYN's office is in. Okay. So he turns around and starts coming back. I remember driving home. Oh, I'm going to get this out, Lord. I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell this whole story. I'm going to tell the whole story. I remember driving home and it was the most beautiful sunset. On the way back to my house, there was this beautiful, like expansive moment over the hilltop. And it was colors. It was just, you ever seen one of those sunsets where God's showing off? Where you just like, you really you put your foot in that one, Jesus. And I'm driving the car back home. And I remember looking at that sunset and thinking, God, how could something so beautiful be happening right now when this is what's happening in my life right at this moment? I remember that. Fun fact. I pass that exact same spot all the time because clearly I said I was going home. And since then, God has really healed and restored some amazing parts of me who felt that way in that moment, because I have had some of the most wonderful moments, peeking over that hill with my son in the back, the son they told me wasn't going to be here. Us blasting music and singing at the top of our lungs, and we're singing and singing, and then I drive the car and I look out into the sunset and I was like, oh. So that's what was coming. But that wasn't that day. That day it was me dissociated. Came home. Let me get to the story. Came home. I don't remember when my husband came home, but at some point he was back at the house. And I got on the couch, you guys, and I sat on the couch rocking back and forth, muttering, "It's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy." Because one, that's all I thought I was going to find out that afternoon. I was so innocent. I was so ignorant. I had no idea that I could go into a 20-week ultrasound and they could tell me that there was things wrong with my kid. I didn't know. I literally had no concept. The one person who had given me information about the 20-week ultrasound, all she do was pop out healthy kids. So she was like, "Girl, they measure a bunch of stuff. They tell you the gender and you go home." That is not the experience I had. Okay. I had actual hell. So at this point, I was having what I would assume was a psychological break. I was sitting on the couch downstairs in this house, rocking back and forth, just muttering, "It's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy," which is not exactly healthy minded behavior. Okay. And in my head, I heard a voice say, and listen, don't call the paddy wagon for me. I didn't hear an audible voice, but I heard it clear. I heard it clear. The voice said, "You could either go head first into the abyss that's in front of you, but if you go in, you aren't coming out of this one." Hmm. So you have to mind, I'm sitting on this couch, hormoned, triggered, traumatized, and 20 weeks pregnant. Okay. Clearly having some sort of psychological break. Rocking back and forth, muttering the same phrase over and over. And this sense in my brain is like, yeah, you could go in there, but if you go in there, you ain't coming out. Okay. And I don't know what that meant, but it didn't sound appealing. Sorry. It didn't sound like a good option to me. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe some other people have chosen to go headfirst into the abyss. I don't know what abyss it was offering. I didn't want it. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if abyss looked good on me. You know what I'm saying? Yellow looks amazing on me. Sorry, you guys. But abyss doesn't sound like it goes in my cheekbones. It sounded horrible. And so in the middle of my little mental breakdown, which is why I know I can be unserious in all spaces. I have proven my unseriousness. I say to the voice aloud, out my mouth, I say, "I don't like that option." You got anything else? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just telling you the truth. Oh my God. I want to cry, but I really said that. I was like, "I don't like that option." You got anything else besides go head first into the abyss, end up in a mental hospital? And I kid you not, this is very anticlimactic, you guys. The voice said, "Or you could get up and wash the dishes." I said, "What now? Come again?" It said, "Or you could get up and wash the dishes." Now, I'm gonna abbreviate this so I could get to the triggered part on Monday. At the point when it said that, I thought that was ridiculous. For a while, I thought it was ridiculous, but to me, the two options was get up and wash the dishes or fill the dishwasher or go into the abyss and never come out. So I took my pregnant butt up, stood up, and went into the kitchen and did the dishes. Now, that actual directive proved to be quite useful, FYI, in later moments that were very difficult during my pregnancy and my son's life medically, because it was a way of me understanding that sometimes a way to anchor myself out of a highly triggered and highly activated state was to stick to my routine. And that came in very handy. And I think in one of the videos I did, I think it was about depression a few months ago. One of the things I shared with you guys is one of the ways that I managed depression, and also in this particular way, was having a routine that I could access when I felt like everything was untethered, because if nothing else, the routine would tether me. So that was one of the genesis. That was the genesis of that concept, right? So I get up and I wash the dishes. Anyway, that's the story. That's the story. And I'm sticking to it. I got it out. Okay, so let's say what happened to you? What happened to you then, Rashni? Why is it 12 to 13 years later and you are having this conversation with us? Okay, so I'm going to go to this week and I'm going to tell y'all a little bit more. Monday, I have my well woman exam. Okay, why? Because I'm a woman and I want to be well. Yes. I have not been to my well woman exam for 4 years. Judge your tax attorney. Okay. September 2020 was the last time I went and threw my legs up in them stirrups. When you are a mom of a son with special needs, living through a pandemic and doing virtual school on the landing with him when he should have a para at school, so you become the para, and working a part-time job and a partridge in a freaking pear tree, it is very, while trying to keep up with all of his medical needs, it is very easy to let your medical needs go by the wayside. I went and I had all my mammograms. I even had my first colonoscopy. Okay. But I just had not gotten back to the stirrups. Okay. So your girl went back to the OBGYN. She at the OBGYN this past Monday, And y'all, I kid you not. It didn't even dawn on me. I turned the corner to park my car, and here go the voices in my head. That's the parking lot. That's the parking space you were in when you found out that your son might die. Oh, I forgot to tell you this part. After the 20-week ultrasound, for the next 4 weeks, every single time I went to the doctor, they offered for me to terminate my pregnancy. There was a middle point where I asked them, how often are you going to offer me this? Because I'm not going to terminate my pregnancy. And they were like up on until 20 to 24, 23 to 24 weeks, somewhere in there, right? So I was like, okay. And then we're like, and then it's a viable pregnancy. So they would ask me and I would go. I also ended up having, if I remember correctly, it was 16 total ultrasounds in my pregnancy, 20 something non-stress tests, a fetal MRI, and a partridge in a freaking pear tree. Okay. A C-section, I didn't want, the whole thing. Okay. So the beginning of my pregnancy was like, everything's healthy, everything's normal. And then from week 20 to week 38 was all hell broke loose. Okay. OBGYN office, you got it. So this Monday I go to my well woman exam, hit the parking lot, here go the voices. That's the parking space you were in when you passed out, when you found out Zion stuff. That's the everything, the elevator. That's the elevator you were in when you told a woman you were pregnant for the first time. I walk into the foyer. Those elevators over there are the elevators where you came from the ultrasound when you found out everything. I walk into the freaking OBGYN office, same place. Okay. Been rocking with this OBGYN for 20 something years. Listen, we've been together. Okay. I caught him when he came out of residency and he balding now. Okay. I used to call him Doogie Howser because I'd be like, how old are you? Anyway, I go in to the office. 4 pregnant women. I had to say 4 with the R on it just in case somebody was like, what's 4? 4 pregnant women, because that's where pregnant women are, at the OB-GYN's office. Okay. Now this is where it gets spicy. And if you are not a person who is a special needs mom, you might not understand this, but special needs mom, listen, because I'm about to say some stuff that you probably have thought in your thinker, but you have yet ever said aloud in front of a person who has a typically developing child. There were 3 healthy, perfectly developing children walking around that OBGYN office. And all my brain could think was, oh my God, healthy pregnancies and healthy children everywhere. Everybody gets one except me. And y'all, that was this Monday. I'm not talking about 2012. I'm talking about me, Rashni Glamazini, me, Rashni, sitting right here. Me, who put present tense on the thumbnail. I am triggered, not I was triggered. I already told y'all. Ain't no help coming. I hope y'all get helped. Okay. Currently triggered this Monday. So my brain is screaming at me at this point. This the parking lot where you fell out. This the elevator where you told a woman. It's like a tour. It's like the worst walking tour of my life. Okay. Whenever I hit a city, I love a walking tour. I actually wanted to be a walking tour guide, and I might be one day. This was the worst walking tour of my life. Okay. 0 stars. Negative 4,000 stars on Yelp. Do not recommend. Voice in my head is just like, and over here, you will find the 4 healthy pregnancies and 3 healthy children with working legs and toes, and you can't have any of it. And one of the kids kept coming to, like, one of the kids kept walking over to me and like trying to play with me because I'm magnetic. And I'm like freaking amazing. So I don't blame her. But I was looking at her like, girl, not right now. I am not in the best mental health state. So, not only that, I was shocked that I was so triggered because you guys, you heard me say I gave birth to my son in 2012. By the way, I found out I was pregnant with my son on October 31st, so Halloween of 2011. The 20-week ultrasound was February 14th, and his due date was 4th of July. So holidays. But he did not come on 4th of July. He came on summer solstice. So he came on June 21st. So whenever summer starts, think of my son, okay? And you're welcome. So anyway, I'm in the office on Monday, and I am triggered. I gave birth to this kid in 2012. I have been to my OBGYN multiple times since then. You heard me say the last time was during the freaking pandemic, September of 2020. So this was shocking to me how triggered I was. I was not anticipating this. And here's the thing. This is probably just how triggers work. And I'm so glad that I actually know what it is and I have vocabulary to explain what it is so that I'm not internalizing what's going on with myself. Like, what's wrong with me? What's that? Like, I know what it is, right? That doesn't mean it's not happening. I know what it is. I know what it is. So anyway, I'm in there and this walking tour continues. This bull beep walking tour. Okay. And here are, listen, and I'm going to tell y'all something. Because we're friends, right? This is a private audience of 30 people watching across platforms live and possibly hundreds to thousands of my closest friends. Okay. I'm going to just say this and y'all can figure it out. The rest of it, I'm going to say my best on the internet. Crazy thoughts are going through my head right now. Here go this crazy stuff. You ready for this? Not that, okay. The crazy thought taught on the walking tour of 4 healthy pregnancies. Now, I don't know if these women are healthy pregnancies. I don't know that. I'm making stuff up at this point. Perfectly healthy babies running around, right? All of that's happening. I'm spinning at this point. I'm trying to fill out the paperwork. It's like this. It's like some kind of bad psychedelic trip at this point. And I had not had anything. Okay. And I had coffee and an egg and cheese sandwich. So I'm freaking out now about the fact that I'm freaking out. You ever had that happen where you have like anxiety about the fact that you're having anxiety? You're like, what is going on? My body, alarms are going off. Nervous system is all over the place, shambles, whatever. I see this woman come around and she's pregnant. And here go the raggedy, deregulated, triggered, hypervigilant, and let's just put it out there, judgmental. I was being judgy, voice in my head. I looked that woman full in her face and my brain thought, ain't no way that woman ain't older than me right now. How come she get to have a baby? I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Ooh, I'm going to tell it. Listen, it's going to help. It's going to help somebody. I didn't say it was right. I said it happened in my brain. I looked the woman in her face on this past Monday, and the voice in my head said, ain't no way that woman ain't older than me right now. Now, I'm real raggedy because I'm 48 right now. Okay, so I'm out here trying to say this woman look like she's older than 48. About the face. And yet she is pregnant. So anyway, all of that to say, I was a mess. Okay. There was no connection between body, mind, and spirit. I was not my higher self. I don't even know if I was my lower self. I don't even know if I was myself. Body had taken over, body yada yada. The flesh had taken it was nervous system was nervous systeming. And I was just at this point trying to survive, right? I'm thinking I'm just going in there to jump in the stirrups, cowboy Carter style, right? Get a little Beyonce cowboy Carter in the stirrups. You know what I mean? Pop, pop, spread them open and have them do the thing. And instead, I am having a existential life crisis at this point. Unprovoked, unexpected, delayed, clearly. You would think if I was going to have an existential crisis of this magnitude, it would have been the first time I went back to the office after all that trauma, the first time I went back to the building. No, no, no. It waited, what was that, 10 years? To totally turn me every which way but loose. So anyway, I'm in there trying to feign interest in this little baby that won't stop coming over to me because I'm effing amazing. Sorry. I'm like, hi. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, healthy baby, healthy baby. You don't get one. You don't get a baby. You don't get a healthy baby. And there's more to it, you guys. There's more to it because I wanted more kids. And we just gonna leave it at that. Okay. Because there's a lot of layers to that. Okay. So my brain is just clanging, clang, 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 clang at me. Here go the nurse, open the door. Roshini, first of all, I should have been triggered about how reckless they say my name. I've been coming to this office for 25 years or 30 years. I don't know. You would think that y'all would jot down the phonetic spelling of my name at this point. Anyway, I go in the back. I get in the room. I do the things that they tell me to do. The nurse practitioner comes in the office. I wasn't seeing my OBGYN this time. I was seeing the nurse practitioner, who I've seen a few times in the past. Haven't previously cared for her bedside manner too much either in the past, but actually this time she was cool. So I don't know, maybe, who knows? And listen, the minute that woman walked in the room, I'm sitting there. You know, they give you the little paper dressing gown. And they tell you, they're like, you can leave your top on, but take your bra off, you know, because they got to do the breast exam. So I'm sitting there, as Tony Baker would say, Winnie the Pooh style. Okay. Tank top, no bra, cheeks out in the back, paper dressing gown, footy socks. Having an existential crisis, triggered AF. Every horrible, traumatic thing that happened to me during my pregnancy flashing through my head, experiencing the absolute worst walking tour of my blasted life. Because at this point, I'm Winnie the Pooh style, buck naked, booty cheeks out, inside the OBGYN's office, feeling like my head is going to explode, trying not to cry. And here come the freaking nurse practitioner in the room. Hi, Rashni, how are you doing? And I can't wait till I watch this back. I really hope this gonna help. So it's helping me. Okay. I hope I'm helping somebody because it's helping me. Okay, this is real life. This is real life. And when she walked in the room, I couldn't even say anything. So I just said, well, I made it. Because at this point, you guys, I'm triggered. I'm triggered even more because I'm triggered. So I'm triggered because I'm triggered. I have pregnancies and babies and memories. Oh my, everything's going on in my brain right now. My body is disconnected from my brain, but it has to be connected from my brain because the nurse practitioner is asking me questions. Right? I'm trying to dissociate. It's almost like I'm trying to leave my body. Sorry. I am struggling so hard to get the check all the way out. And healed me is trying to pull me back in. Girl, get back in here. We gotta stay integrated. Okay. We got an appointment to go through. We gotta ask this woman if we in perimenopause. So anyway, I made it through the appointment. Okay. I am not in perimenopause, according to my primary care physician, and according to the OBGYN, and according to the hormone panels. Your girl has had a consistent period that you could set a clock to. Do you hear me? for the past 38 years and still does. And still does. Y'all didn't need to know that information, but let's just say that. Okay. And still does. 38 years. Okay. I've been doing this since I was 10 and still does. Every doctor is like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm just like, I made it through the appointment. I walk out of the building. I hyperventilate a little bit by the elevators because memories. I get to the parking garage elevators. No, before that, I pull out my phone and start filming a little ditty for my Patreon. By the way, I am much more, I'm like this on my Patreon all the time. I'll be telling them all my business. Okay. If you want to know more about me and my business and behind the scenes, not just with business, but with life, patreon.com/glamazini. That's where you need to be. Okay. So Patreon, if you're watching this, hi ladies. Hi you guys. Um, it's gonna come up soon because I typically put up a short video for them like all week long, weekdays. You'll see the video that I filmed when I was in the place. The side routine, Rushni, is gonna get you from tearing this doctor's building up, okay? Because at this point, I realize I'm triggered. I need to make it home. I need to get through this appointment. I need to not come asunder. And one of the things that I do when I am triggered is I choose something that's in my routine and I just do it. I told you guys that. So creating content in video is a thing. Expression is the opposite of depression for me. I find that me being silenced over my life has benefited a lot of people, and we off that. We're looking at this camera. We're off that. Okay. So I practice intentionally speaking up, like the video that you're watching right now, and sharing stories that I may not have shared in the way that they actually happened without taking out a bunch of information. Like I'm practicing that, being 1% more Rushni every single day this year. And so I pull out my phone and I start filming a little video, a little B-roll, okay, to regulate myself. So I got myself in the foyer of the hospital. I got myself in the foyer of the elevators. I got myself walking to the car in the parking garage. And I was triggered. And like I told you at the beginning of this video was not any like 10 tips on what to do when you're triggered. Although I hope that in watching this video, there was some nuggets in there on how I do it. And I'm not even going to say, I shouldn't say was, because I am. I'm still triggered. I'm triggered now. And actually, what I realized in going to that appointment and realizing that there was still some serious physiological, mental, and spiritual deregulation and activation going on in me is that I need to do more things like this video. I need to do more things to express the experience that I had and continue to have as a special needs mom. Right? And some of the difficult portions, because I think it's like, whatever, there's some excavation to do there, is what I realized in the fact that this Monday, in the year of our Lord 2024, I was triggered on Monday and still have that triggered feeling happening in my body. The good news though, and I guess this is how I'm going to end this video, because I really didn't even think about how to end this video. And I want to say thanks to everybody that's listening. This is helpful. You know what I mean? It's a, expression is the opposite of depression. And knowing that my story exists, it gets to exist, and that it could help somebody else on their healing journey actually makes me feel less triggered. So thank you. But this is what I was going to say. Sorry, there was, whew. I think that, which is my way, in considering the experience of my son and making an intentional choice not to use him as content. because I could. And based off of my numbers, my platform would be much more successful. Oh, I'm gonna start crying, right? Because I see other parents with children like my son sharing everything, sharing all their children's private life, sharing all these moments, sharing all their medical details. And I made a conscious effort not to do that. If you've been around, whew, I'm a cry, but it's good. It's okay. I've been letting myself cry more too. If you've been around since the beginning of my online journey, or even if you were around when I was pregnant and I was sharing, not just in the pregnancy, but in my whole life, like I said, there have been people who benefit from me being quiet. And I was trained to be more silenced. And I think a lot of us have that. It's a common experience. And I think in choosing to hold my son's experience close to the chest, so that he could grow up to be a fully functioning man um, in society without fear that I had put his private information out in the streets. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. I'm not saying that that's what other people are doing. I'm just saying that was my choice. I just couldn't bring myself, even though people asked me to share a lot of what's going on back here, and I could help a lot of people with the information that I do have. But I think what happened, and this is what I'll say, I think looking at it right now, because this is not a finished thing, this is me thinking aloud right now. I think what I did was I didn't share my story as the mom experiencing the things, because it was hard for me to differentiate his story and my story. So in silencing his story, there was a lot of silencing of my story, which makes sense based off of my trauma story, how I was trained, what was applauded for me. And I think that that is why going back to the OBGYN's office was so triggering. That and the fact that I wanted more kids. I'm not even gonna lie, okay? Ain't nobody got time to be out here playing on these internets, okay? I am 48 years old and I thought I was gonna have more children. Only recently, I'm talking about the past month or two, have I given away the last set of things that I had kept from my pregnancy, like my favorite baby carrier. um, I had kept a bunch of stuff just because I was lazy. And then when we finished the basement, I gave away like a million things, right? But there were like a few things that were like my favorite thing, like my favorite abdomen support thing, my favorite baby carrier. I forgot what else. There were like a couple of things that I kept. And I think that those things were kept consciously or subconsciously because I was hopeful. And I believe that part of why going to the OBGYN's office this past Monday was so triggering for me was not just I'm a special needs mom and it's a reminder that my child is not as healthy as all these children that I'm seeing in here, and it's memories of all these places where these major traumas occurred. I believe now that it also is, not was, is currently, I'm saying that it's happening right now, an indicator that I'm not going to have any more kids. And that's probably why the clanging was so loud inside of me, you know. And like I said, I just recently, and look, y'all, the only reason I am not sitting here weeping is because something about being on the internet. Okay, my brain, the tears are right here. They're trying, but I'm trying to get this thought out, because if I start blubbering, I'm not going to be able to get the thought out. And being honest about the fact that that's actually what I'm feeling, this grief and this deep sorrow, understanding that. I'm not going to have another child. Whew, so, like I said, you guys, I don't have tips on this one. Although I will say, I always have tips. Feel your feelings. Expression is the opposite of depression. Speak up and tell your story. It could help somebody. Yeah. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to end mostly because I probably need to get off of here and weep. I probably need to get off of here and weep. H&D Abroad said it was an honor to hold space for your experience. We are Black Women Healing. Thank you so much. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Pamela. So, yeah, I'm not going to promote anything at the end. Y'all know if you want to work with me as your coach, the link's in the information box. Okay. I don't have it. Thank you, Shady. I don't have it, y'all. I don't have it for you. I don't. Okay. Your girl is going to do. Whew, I'm going to go on this deck. I might go get me some ice cream. I've been listening to Sam Smith all morning. Okay. Might throw on some Sam Smith. Sing my little heart out. And when the tears come, let them come. Yeah. All right, you guys. I will see you in the next video. Be well. I'm trying to find the closest one. Be encouraged, you guys. Here's a pineapple. Bye, y'all.